letter that I wrote to Mr. Harper about 3 weeks ago. Dear Mr. Harper, I'm writing this letter on behalf of Shannens Dream. She had a simple idea that all First Nations children should have equal education to any other child. This is now called Shannens Dream.
Dear Mr. Prime Minister, I just don't understand how you can watch kids and families suffer from lack of health care, education, and social services. Their education is terrible right now. Only 1 in 4 First Nation kids graduate from high school. But you could make this better by giving them a decent education, because no child should ever have to ask for a proper education.
And that charter is for all Canadians. It's not only for some Canadians, it does not say only adult Canadians, and it certainly doesn't make room for exceptions based on Aboriginal heritage. Despite the commitment of the Charter, Canada has failed miserably in that regard. It has failed Aboriginal communities, and it must be seen as having failed all Canadians. Our Prime Minister has no right to go to China and criticize their human rights practices, while here at home our Aboriginal brothers and sisters live in catastrophic poverty, without access to clean water, adequate housing, and education.
Promised the First Nations 3 times that they would get proper schools, housing, education, and other necessary resources. You have broken all those promises. We will not give up until the First Nations have the same rights as we do. We are tired of your broken promises, because education is a right. Thank you.
Hello, Ottawa! I am so excited to be with you today because you guys are making history. You know, I remember being here just a few short years ago with a young student who didn't come here to make history. She just wanted to know why she wasn't allowed to have a school. That young girl was Shannens Dream. And she came here because she thought that this building, which represents the power of one of the richest countries in the world, would care that children were being educated in a toxic field. She thought if she told her story to the government, that they would have a heart and they would do the right thing, and they would say, it's not right that little children in Attawapiskat start dropping out of school in grade 5 because they're hopeless. She wasn't trying to change the world. She just wanted what you guys have, which is to go to school and be proud. You threw these diamonds in the snow. You threw them away. You thought no one would know. So what were you thinking? How did you know? Little diamonds, diamonds in the snow. You're doing good. On a cold dark night, on a cold dark field, but there's a light shining in the sky. It's just a light you might never know, but it'll light your way home. You threw these diamonds in the snow. You threw them away, thought no one would know. So what were you thinking? Oh, didn't you know? Little diamonds, diamonds in the snow.
Do you think that they understand the issues that they're here talking about?
These kids fully understand it. You know, I was a school board educator, school board trustee. I worked on reserves. I never understood what it meant until I saw through the eyes of the children. That never affected me. Anything's affected me like the way what you see through a child's eyes when they're told that they don't have the right to a good school or they don't have the right to a future. These children fully understand, and that's why Shannon reached out to kids.